I've been playing the One Piece TCG since day one. I feel like I'm pretty good at the game. However, I've never really taken it seriously. Right now, things are about to change. We have less than 3 weeks until the One Piece Regional in Melbourne commences. So what we're gonna do is try our very hardest to document every single step I'm gonna take in order to compete competitively. Let's jump into it. The question I wanna ask throughout the series is, will putting in effort change the outcome of my performance? Or will it just expose all my weaknesses and make me feel really bad about myself? So generally speaking, with every single time I've played in a regionals, I pick a deck that I'm comfortable with. This doesn't necessarily mean it's going to always be meta. Last regionals, I decided to play Ace. Biggest mistake of my life. It was meta, but I just wasn't comfortable with it. This time, we're going for my favorite deck in the current formats, Gecko Moria. Now, I played a lot of Gecko Moria when it first came out in OP14, and I know it was decent, if not viable at that time, but EBO3 has just dropped, so that does change things. I'm open to a deck change, but if I can make it work, I would like to play Gecko. One of the main reasons I love Gecko is the lines of play and the depth that comes with piloting Gecko. Honestly, the extra layer and the flexibility while playing Gecko is a massive reason as to why I currently enjoy this leader. But reality is hit, EBO3 is here, as I mentioned, and I have to be honest with myself. Gecko is not meta. Gecko isn't even close to being meta. So it's put me in a really tough position where I now need to consider swapping decks. I don't want to because I love playing Gecko, but there is only one other deck that I would even consider playing. For me, this series isn't just about being super competitive and going as far as I can. If I wanted to, I could pull the best deck list, build that deck, buy some guides, and then get some reps in, and I feel like I'd be able to do quite well. For me, it's about playing a deck that I enjoy and seeing how far I can take that deck. Now, there's also a handful of problems that do come into play now that EBO3 has just released. The last set that I played properly was OP14. EBO3 is here now. It means there's a bunch of new cards and a bunch of new leaders that are now viable. Unfortunately, blue's back in the mix, quite prevalent. Talking about Nami, which means that bottom decking is now back, and that significantly hurts Gecko. Another problem is I don't know the matchups. I don't know what I play well into. I don't even know the top tier decks right now. So it's something that I need to work on and spend some time figuring out, because it's not gonna be easy. It's one thing knowing that your opponent is playing one deck, knowing how to play your lines against that deck, knowing if you wanna go first or second. There are so many different moving pieces that go into the One Piece trading card game that you do need to take into consideration. Realistically, it comes down to being a good pilot of the deck, understanding your matchups to the T, and knowing what to do if you can't see certain lines, and how to maneuver your hand, your board state, even your mentality to the point where you know you're gonna win. So my plan for the next 3 weeks, well, 2 weeks, is to figure out what deck I'm definitely gonna be playing. Figure out exactly who is going to be dominating the current meta and what's the likelihood of me seeing them, as well as getting an understanding of the few outliers that I could expect, because those are the ones that catch you off guard. The next step in the matchups is figuring out whether or not they're gonna be good, neutral, or bad. Ultimately, this will help me tech into specific matchups if I feel the need to at least bring them to neutral. So realistically, I wanna focus on the bad matchups and then work out if I can bump them to neutral to at least give me a chance. Not to say that you can't win bad matchups, because again, it heavily is reliant on the pilot and your ability to know your own deck as well as your enemy's deck. So in order to get this sorted, I think we're gonna break it down into the sim, so the OP TCG sim. We're gonna get some general reps in there. We're going to hit the local weekly events at Pokebox and get about an understanding of the current meta in Melbourne. And 3 is grab a bunch of friends, come back to here, and then just run the decks over and over and over again. Not only playing your deck, but also playing other decks, so you get to better understand how the enemy would play and what cards they have in their deck. Within the next 3 weeks, I'm gonna track my wins, my losses, and the overall progress. And hopefully, by the time that regionals arrives, I get to know whether or not I'm going to have my ass handed to me or I'm going to be successful. So come along on this journey with me and let's find out together.